Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this, our first class of the autumn term. It feels a little bit like autumn is on its way, but maybe not here quite just yet. We've had a long summer and we're returning for our practice, and this term we're focusing on the chakras and the energy surrounding those chakras. So we're going to work with elements and we're going to work with more energetic flow as our focus for practice. But we'll see how it goes. This week, we are going to focus on foundations, earth energy, and the base chakra, although we will work through, of course, the entire body, but definitely focusing towards the feet. So for our practice today, we will use a block or something similar. So it could be a small stack of books. Ideally something that you would have to lift your leg relatively high to pass it over, but also something that you could stand on and it's fairly firm. So yoga bricks are fantastic for this, but if you have something else to hand that feels appropriate, go for it. We'll begin by sitting just towards the front of our seats, placing the feet underneath the knees, sitting tall so that the back of the body is quite active in maintaining that sense of lift, resting your hands wherever they're comfortable, and just closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. Take this moment to step away from everything else that's going on around you and take yourself into the mental time and space for yoga. Feel how your body feels in this moment. Notice any areas of stiffness, tension, aches and pains. And in doing so, remember throughout the class to work compassionately in those areas. We want our practice always to enhance our well-being. So the discomfort we carry into class should not be made worse by anything that we do. Should only be left the same or better, hopefully, particularly by the end of the class. Focus on at least one part of the body that is peaceful, feels spacious and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to ripple out from wherever it's centered. Softening tension in other parts of the body. Draw your awareness to your breath. And today we're going to rest our hands on the lower part of our abdomen as we sit tall and focus on taking slightly longer, slower breaths. So we're thinking about, as we breathe in, creating a sense of space for the breath to move into, perhaps in the front of the body, underneath the arms and the back of the body. You might feel your hands slightly separate as you breathe in and come back towards each other as you breathe out, without forcing movement into the abdomen, just breathing deeply, focusing on taking that breath into the lowest lobe of the lungs. And with each exhalation, softening the features of the face and also feeling the shoulders and chest relax. The in-breath quite active, the out-breath quite relaxed. Ooh, excuse me. We're going to take a few more of these deeper breaths, thinking about dropping into our feet and our seat and the palms of the hands as we exhale. Each breath in lifts us tall, finds that space, that expansion. Each breath out connects us with the things that we are touching. The floor, the chair, the hands where they're resting on the body. At the end of your next exhalation, simply allowing your breath to fall into its natural rhythm, relaxing the arms down to your side and drawing your chin towards your chest, just feeling a gentle sense of length along the back of the neck, maybe across the top of the shoulders or between the shoulder blades. Without forcing movement, gently rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, chin back to chest, and left ear to left shoulder. And we want to start small in these semicircle movements in front of the body and gently work towards something a little bit more expressive as our body offers us additional space to move into. Perhaps as you roll from side to side, you feel a gentle lifting of the chin to help you feel a sense of length. Keeping the mouth closed to feel that length across the front of the throat, under the jaw, across the sides of the neck. One more to each side. And we'll finish with the chin coming back down towards the chest, just resting there as we smile gently to ourselves and then raise the head to an upright position. We're going to take the bottom teeth over the top teeth and just lift the chin forward and up, finding a gentle sense of lift perhaps across the collarbones, breathing here, and then gradually bringing the head back to center, relaxing your jaw, maybe wiggling the jaw from side to side, and we'll free the shoulders up with a few shoulder rolls as well. So rolling the shoulders in any way that feels good. A few times in this direction, and then we'll go in the opposite direction as well. Just noticing if there's any creaking or crunching or clicking, knowing that we are lubricating that movement and it will feel more fluid as our practice goes. We're going to come back to steadiness and stillness and now take our awareness down into the feet. So here, wriggling your toes against the floor. So it might be that you lift and lower the toes all at the same time. It might be that you can do a little wriggle of the toes, depending on how independently they move. Now, our toes are much like our hands, our fingers. They can move quite independently if you practice that. But also the little toe, just like the little finger and the ring finger, the little toe and the fourth toe tend to move more together as they are joined up in the structure of the foot, or their movement, the muscles and ligaments, tendons join up in the center of the foot. So we don't want to worry too much about it if it's not super individual in this movement, but we do want to focus on trying that intention to move the toes quite independently. Let's bring all of the toes back to steadiness, and then we're going to keep the main body of the toes down and lift the big toes up, and then take the big toes down and lift the other toes up. We're going to alternate between those two. So all toes down except big toes, and then big toes down and the other toes up. Other toes down, big toes up, big toes down, other toes up. Let's do 2 more of these. Very nice. Last one. And then again, relaxing the foot. We're going to shimmy ourselves back into the chair so that we can feel the body relaxing into the chair back and just giving a little bit of freedom to our feet so that they can move in circles here at the ankles. And you don't have to go fast. You can do it nice and slowly. And if it feels nice to sort of give your legs a little bit of a shake or a flop or a flap, and maybe shake out the ankles by just letting the legs be really floppy as you shake, letting the feet shake around as well. Very good. We don't often do that. It's really nice for the joints. Very good. So coming to sit a little bit more forward on your seat again and focusing again on the feet. You're going to lift both sets of toes, the ball of the foot up from the floor, and then rock onto the ball of the foot, lifting the heels up. So we're just going backwards and forwards through the foot. And as you do that, you'll feel the muscles in the front of the shins switch on as we lift the toes and the balls of the feet up. Feel the calf muscles switch on as we lift the heels. And we don't want to get cramped, so we're not trying to do more than the body is quite comfortable doing. We're just doing a gentle movement to begin to awaken that part of the body to support our movement. And then we can do a little bit alternate feet. So lifting the toes of the right foot and the heel of the left foot, and then switching. So you've got the toes of the left foot and the heel of the right foot up. And we're just going backwards and forwards. A little bit of brain gym for us at this early stage of the week. As we go backwards and forwards. Very nice. And it's really useful for us to get a sense of articulating the feet against the floor without any great amount of weight on them, because it makes our feet much more responsive when we are weight bearing with our whole bodies. When you're ready, just floating the feet down, and we'll again sit back in our seats and do some of those lovely ankle circles. Now, if you prefer to just do up and down, you can. It's a very similar movement to the one we've just done. But if that suits you better, if it feels better for your ankles, we'll go in the opposite direction if you are circling. Very nice. We're going to bring the feet back down to the floor again, sitting forward and just rolling towards the inside edge of the foot. So we're pressing down more with the big toe joint, the inside edge, and lifting perhaps the little toe side of the foot off the floor, not at the heel, but at the ball of the foot. And then rocking to the opposite side. So we're pressing down with that outside edge of the foot, pressing down into the little toes and lifting the inside edge of the foot at the ball of the foot and the big toe off the floor, but keeping the heel down. So we're going to go in and out and in and out. And here it's very common for the knees to move as well. So if that helps you to get a sense of connection into the movement, for sure, do it this way. And particularly if you're developing awareness, that can be useful. But when you're ready, trying to do this with the knees much more still, or completely still if you can, which means that you're really working the outside and inside edge of the low leg and the ankle mobility, strength and mobility here. Relaxing one more time, we're going to sit back in our seats, and this time we're just going to swing our legs a little bit. As we swing backwards and forwards, we're also going to do a little bit of side to side. So bringing the feet back towards each other, just swinging side to side. Feels great, getting in touch with that childlike quality of movement, and then a little swinging in circles. You can swing in the circles in the same direction if you like. I prefer alternate circles. It keeps my pelvis a little bit more steady, which I prefer. And the opposite way as well. And we're going to finish this part of the practice with another sort of shake of the feet. So you can lean forward and press into the chair so that you can shake the whole leg, really shaking out through the feet. And then relax. Very nice. So we have a block to hand, and we are going to place that block on the outside of our right foot as we sit forward so that we have a lovely right angle here between the torso and the thigh, and between the thigh and the knee. And we're going to press down into the left foot and the right foot. So we sit tall, but we're going to keep that left foot pressing down into the floor. We're going to lift the right foot, hover it over the block, and then place it down on the right side of the block. Then lift the right foot, hover it over the block to place it down on the inside. So just going out and in. We're pressing down into the left foot, firm in the belly muscles, firm in the pelvic floor, just gentle and slow. Let's do 2 more. Out and in. It's okay if you feel it in your hip flexor at the front of the pelvis, as long as it doesn't feel too intense. Last one. Very good. While we swap the block to the outside edge of the left foot, we can lengthen the right leg and just give it a little turn in and out by turning the foot in and out. That helps to release tension from here in the hip flexor. We can bring the feet back to our starting position, press both feet down to lift the body tall, keep pressing into the right foot to float the left foot up, floats over the block and steps down on the left side of the block. Lifting the left foot to float over the block and down on the inside of the block. And that's how we go. We're creating that lift through the body, a lift in the pelvic floor and the belly muscles, real strength into that right leg. And we're making nice, slow, steady movements because they are more challenging. 2 more like this. Very nice. Last one. Very good. And then as we relax a little, we're just going to lengthen the left leg, and with the heel resting on the floor, just give a little turn, a shake of that leg to ease off any tension from this area. Let us put this block to one side. We'll come to use it again later. And then sitting nice and forward, we're going to take the feet wide and just let the knees both turn to one side and then the other. I find this is easier to do across the corner of my chair. So I've still got nice support across the buttocks, the feet are wide, my knees can just move a little bit more because I've got less of the seat around the hips. So we're going from one side to the other, trying to sit nice and upright at the same time. If you find this is really tough, you can actually lean slightly back on your chair using the chair seat for support. It'll be a little bit easier still. If you can do it sitting upright, that's the one to do. You want to pivot on the heels of the feet. Very good. Now, while we're here, we've got an opportunity to do something really rather nice. So as the knees go to the left, we're going to take the left hand behind us onto the chair seat, adjusting if you need to. We're going to lean back and then just make a nice big circle around the body with the right arm. And we'll do 4 more like that. So nice and firm across the belly, having this gentle turning through the body. Let the feet find the floor so that you can press into the feet a little bit as well to create that sense of open. We'll do 2 more in this direction, on this side even. Very nice. And then resting your arm back down by your side, we're going to bring the knees back to center. We'll do the same thing to the other side. So we start on the heels, feet come down to the right. We're leaning back away from our thighs themselves, a little firm across the belly, and and then making big circles with the left hand and the left arm around the body. Beautiful. Feel your way into the space around you. 2 more like this. And then resting your arm back to your side, just allowing yourself to come back to upright, allowing the knees to come back to center. And again, we're going to shift ourselves back into our seats so the thighs are very much more supported for a little bit of shaking. So a little bit of shaking of the thighs, maybe a shaking of the legs, but this turning of the knees in and out is quite nice. This kind of shaking is quite good. Ooh. And we're wanting the legs to wobble, so try not to control unless you feel that you need to for comfort. When you're ready, you can bring your feet forward, bring your seat forward, sorry. And we want to have enough of our buttocks on the chair that we feel really supported. I'm going to do a few of those sit, hover, sit that we do. So nice and firm across the belly, looking forward, and then taking the weight onto the feet just to hover the buttocks slightly off the seat and then back onto the seat. So a little light lift and release. Firm in the belly, lift and release. Let's do 2 more. Lift and release. Lift and release. Very good. Now, oftentimes we take that into a nice squat where we stand all the way tall and all the way back. But today we're going to stagger our feet first. So we're going to leave the left leg where it is, bring the right leg back. So it's tucked underneath, tucked onto our toes on the ball of the foot. And then we're doing the same thing, nice and firm in the belly. We come onto our feet just to lift gently and release. We're going to do 2 more like this. Very good. Last one like this. Feels a little bit different, doesn't it? And then we're going to do 2 where we stand all the way up and all the way down. So we lift, and then we're going to stand all the way tall, opening the chest, opening the front of the body, and then reach the arms forward. Lengthen the fingertips forward as the tailbone lengthens back, and we bend the knees to lightly sit back down on the chair. The slower we go, the more challenging, the more strengthening it is. Another one like this, firm in the belly, lifting gently, standing all the way tall to open the chest. And then we're going back the opposite way, reaching the hands forward, the tailbone backward, bending at the knees to lightly sit down on the chair. Leave your left foot where it is. Step your right foot forward to where the left foot is, same distance from the chair, and then just tuck the left toes under it as we tuck the left foot back. Firm in the belly. We're going to do those lovely lift and lower. Just 2 more like that. Hover and release. Really focusing on where the effort in the legs is. And for some people, you will get the same leg feeling like it's doing the work, even if it's tucked under or if it's tucked forward. So in that case, you understand which is your dominant side, and you can work to strengthen the opposite side by just taking your awareness there. Let's do 2 where we stand all the way up. Nice and firm in the belly, lifting and then standing all the way tall, arms nice and wide, hips nice and forward, and then reaching the fingertips forward as the tailbone comes backward, bending at the knees, sitting lightly onto our seat. 1 more like that. Hover and then stand. And then lengthen the tailbone back as you bend the knees and release down. Bring the left foot forward to the right foot. Feet still underneath knees, and we'll come up with both feet together at the same time this time. Firm in the belly, hover first, stand all the way tall, reaching the arms nice and wide, and then floating the arms down to the sides. As we come into this upright position, perhaps you can feel just a deeper emphasis of connecting down into the feet. And roll the shoulders a few times, maybe wiggle the hips a few times. It's quite nice to do that as well. And then we're going to pop our chairs to one side or step away from your chair. If like me, if you've got more space rather than I do. I'm just going to move this little block out of the way. We can do a little bit of Kati Chakrasana, a great practice to energize the body, to realign all of our energetic elements, our chakras. We're going to soften the knees as we stand wide, standing tall to find that lift, and gently twisting from side to side. And as you twist from side to side, allow the arms to wrap around the body and tap wherever they naturally fall for a few moments. We're going to use the tapping on the body to create a therapeutic release. So when you're ready, you can begin to tap across the hips and the buttocks, the front of the pelvis, the side of the hips and the buttocks. So we're aiming our hands there. We really want to give ourselves a gentle tap and maybe find a way to tap all of those areas. So moving the hands around a little bit so you can reach various bits. But aiming for the low down structures. And then we're going to move our hands up a little bit. So we're still keeping that nice loose turning, focused on a little lift in the pelvic floor and the belly muscles. But now we're tapping across the bottom of the sides of the body, the low belly, the low back. It's okay to move your hands so that you get all of those places. And then we're going to come up slightly higher. So tapping across the center of the body, maybe the space just underneath the rib cage, the bottom of the ribs, the sides of the ribs. Underneath the rib cage at the front where the ribs lift a little. And then moving the hands up again, tapping across the center of the rib cage. If you can do that in the back of the body, that's great. Just bending the elbows a little bit more sometimes helps. The side of the body, aiming for that space underneath the arms, center of the chest in front, and moving the arms up again. So aiming to tap across the top of the chest, the collarbones, maybe the space directly underneath the arms if you want to take a few goes like this. And if you can, just raising the hand behind you as high up the back as feels comfortable. And then when we've done all of this lovely stimulation, we're going to free the feet and let the arms relax again. So freeing the feet as we twist from side to side, arms can just soften, shoulders relax, tapping the body wherever they fall. Usually it's quite low down. We can add a gentle bend in the knees, a bounce and twist. As we do that, just noticing how it feels to go from one side to the other, transferring the weight a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of that, a little bit more of that in a moment. Still firm in the belly, the pelvic floor. And then when you're ready, losing your bounce, just pivoting side to side, bringing the feet to steadiness and swaying slowly back to center. As you come to center again, finding the feet really strongly in contact with the floor, rolling the shoulders up and back, and then gliding the shoulders down as you lengthen the crown of the head upwards, maybe turning the palms forward, letting the fingertips fall to the floor, closing the eyes or gazing gently downward, and just feeling the sensations in your body and the results of your practice. Tune back into your long, deep breath. Feel that breath deep in the bottom of the lungs. When you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest, lifting the chest, taking the chin only forwards, giving yourself a soft smile, and then raising the head and opening the eyes and releasing the hands down, giving anything a shake out that needs a shake out. Fantastic stuff. Okay, So we can do this next practice using a chair or a wall for support, or freestanding as you choose. So we're going to bring our feet closer together, perhaps a little bit underneath the hips, and we're going to lift one heel and then the other. Let me just do this side on so you can see better. So lifting one heel and then the other. The idea is that we gently bob up and down to begin with. So we're going up and over, up and over. Lovely. Just going from one side to the other. Try not to swing the hips too much into it, but keeping that centered support through the pelvic floor, the belly muscles. And then from here, you might be able to transfer the weight all the way onto one foot, just touching the toes of the opposite foot to the floor. Almost like a little hop or a little jog, but really slow. Taking your time, being steady, being supported where needed. And then if you can, just doing that a little quicker, freeing the entire foot from the floor, if that feels good. If it doesn't feel so good, just stick with either heels up and down or that bit where you have one foot on the floor. If you can, doing this a little bit quicker, so it becomes a little bit more buoyant, bouncy. And then if you wish to, you can do jumping with both feet at the same time. Just nice little lift, hopping. And that sounds really sticky. Nice and buoyant across the knees, the ankles, the feet. And then just rest. Take a moment to notice the effect on your heart rate, on your muscles, on your breath. If you need to, you can just gently turn the top of the foot towards the floor to stretch out the front of the ankle, the top of the foot, the top of the toes. If that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, just giving your ankles a little circling or a little shaking, and then swapping to the other side, turning the tops of the toes towards the floor, or if you prefer, little ankle circling or shaking, foot shaking if you like. And just take a moment to arrive back into stillness and steadiness, and let the fingertips fall towards the floor, lengthen the crown of the head up. Deep breath in, sighing out if it feels good to do that. Aces. So we have prepared the body in lots of ways. Plyometric movements, these bouncing little hops, are really good for us because we don't do a lot of that, particularly if you don't jog or bounce on a trampoline. So those are two things where you might get a bit of that movement. There are other sports where you might get a bit of that movement, a bit of dance or badminton or something like that, where you're moving quickly and suddenly plyometric movements. But we tend not to do as many of them the older we get. So it is good for us. So we're going to do now a bit of chair pose. And first we're going to do chair pose facing onto the back of our seats, with the feet about hip width apart, starting by standing nice and tall. And we want to focus on the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor being very much down and moving down, and the parts of the body that are not in contact with the floor lifting and moving up. We'll lift in the pelvic floor gently and the belly muscles and the crown of the head. And then just bend your knees without letting your upper body come forwards. So all we're going is from straight legs to bent legs. And it can be a really subtle movement. It doesn't need to be much. As you look down, just make sure that your knees are over your feet. They haven't fallen too far out or too far in. And then with this soft bend in the knees, just gently tucking your tailbone out and tucking your tailbone under. And we get a little bit more movement through the hips with our knees bent. So that's why we've done this with the knees bent. We want to find the space that feels neutral, not all the way back or all the way forward, but somewhere in between. And then we're going to rest there, firming the belly muscles again, hands onto the chair back, or if you're feeling fancy, palms together at the center of the chest. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then gently breathe in as you lengthen your legs and release the arms down as you breathe out. Give your legs a little shake out if they need it. Sometimes they do. Chair pose is one of those poses that looks like nothing but is doing quite a lot. So we are going to do the same thing. I'm turning slightly so it'll be easier to see, I hope. But this time we're going to lift one heel and then the other. So we start tall, we've got everything lifted in our center, and then we bend the knees. And it doesn't matter how deep they go, they only need to be a little bit bent. You can go as far as feels comfortable with your body upright. We need to do a little bit of tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards to find neutral, and we need to do a bit of resisting that forward motion with the back of the body. So we switch on the muscles in the back of the body. We're going to float the left heel off the mat. So our left toes, all of the foot is still down, but the left heel is up. And then we release the left heel down and lift the right heel up and release the right heel down. We're just going from side to side. What we're trying to avoid is moving the whole body from side to side. So we want to have our chair pose, lift one heel and down, and then the other heel and down. So we're just making those legs work a little bit more, one side and then the other. We'll do one more to each side. It's more challenging than it looks. And then pressing through the feet to stand nice and tall, shaking the legs out. Very good. Oh, excuse me. So it is quite a lot of work here in the front of the thighs. So what we want to try to do is to afford the front of the thighs a little bit of a stretch as well. So we're going to stand all the way close to our chairs and step back with the left foot first. And here we can be on the ball of the foot, hands on the chair, and bend the front knee, and then think about lengthening the heel down behind us, that left heel lengthening down. Perhaps we can feel a little bit of stretch on the front of the left side of the pelvis or across the calf in the back of the left leg. We're just taking a deep breath in here. We can increase that sense of length by standing tall, firming the belly muscle, holding onto the chair with the right hand and taking the left arm around the body. Maybe we'll do that 2 more times. Around the body. 1 more time. Around the body. And then we're going to hold onto the chair again, peel the left foot off the floor. Just step onto the right foot and bend the left heel right up to the bottom. Now, if you can, hold on to your trousers or your foot or ankle, and that's fine. If that doesn't work, just holding the left heel towards you, that will afford a really nice sense of length without being overly stretchy. And we might work with belts doing this one another week, but this week we're just doing this. Releasing that foot down, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So start square onto your chair, step the right foot back as far as it goes, just up onto the ball of the right foot, bending the left knee, and see if you can just press that right heel up and down towards the floor a few times, feeling where the right sensation for your body is. When you get there, you can hold on with your left hand and with your right hand make big circles around the body. Having that sensation of driving the shoulders and the upper back behind you to open the front of the body, particularly on that right side. Then we're going to gently come up onto the ball of that right foot, step onto the left foot and take the right heel up behind you. Now you might be able to reach your trousers, or you might be able to reach your foot or your ankle and hold it towards you. It doesn't matter which variation of these you do, even if you're just holding your leg towards you with your own muscles. Take a moment here, breathing in, breathing out, and then gently release down. We'll counterpose all of that lovely work with a little chair-based down dog. So stepping your feet back, taking your feet nice and wide, little lift of the belly muscles, lengthening the tailbone back, keeping the knees nice and soft. You can sway the hips from side to side, pressing into the chair with the palms of the hands and into the floor with the soles of the feet. If you enjoy the sway from side to side, you might like to lengthen one knee and then the other, doing a little twisting from the center of your down dog pose, maybe looking from side to side as well. And you might like to come to stillness in the center. Try to keep your head between the upper arms or slightly above rather than letting it relax down below. A nice, lovely lift in the pelvic floor and the belly muscles, pressing down into the chair with your hands as well. And when you're ready, walking towards your chair as you come to an upright position, just taking your time. As you come to upright, perhaps you want to hold on for a little bit longer, or you might like to free those shoulders and those hips, little dancing shoulder, dancing hip, maybe shaking out the wrists as well. Excellent. So we've got one final practice to do today, and it is a little balance. So we are going to use the chair for support. It could be in front of you. I'm going to put it to one side just so it's easier for you guys to see. So I'm going to stand with my block in front of my left foot, and then the chair can be to the side here, she says. And I'm going to step forward so that the block is underneath my left foot and my right foot is on the floor. That's very easier to see there, isn't it? So here we're going to stand tall, feet still about hip width apart, the pelvic floor lifted, the belly muscles lifted, the crown of the head lifted, which encourages our shoulders to draw back and down to open the chest. And then we're going to bend the knees. So it's the right leg that we're standing on mostly. So we're bending the knee a little bit, focused on that, trying not to lean forward, but trying to stay upright. The left leg is a little bit supported here. And if you like, you can really press into the right leg. You can hold onto the chair for support and just float your left leg off the floor in front of you. We're going to do this sideways on in a different way, so it's easier to see. So we are in a chair pose, but with the front foot forward, and then we can just lift that leg off the floor. And if it's possible, you might bring your right elbow towards your left knee, twisting to the left in something called twisted dancer. If you want to keep your foot down on the block, no problem at all. Same thing. And then we untwist to stand tall, step onto both legs, give everything a nice little shake out. And we do the same thing on the other side. So from center, we're going to step forward with the right foot so that the right foot is on the block ahead of the left foot, but hip width apart. Standing tall, thinking about pressing down into that left leg, firm belly and pelvic floor, bending the knees, trying not to lean forwards or backwards. And then here, if you want to, taking a firmer grip to lift the right knee off the floor and maybe take the left elbow towards the right knee. Twisted dancer. It's a lovely, lovely pose. We don't need to do it completely freestanding, but we can work towards that. Perhaps we will next week. When you're ready, you can unwind, place the left foot down, right foot down even, stand onto both legs, just give your legs a little shake out. We've done such a lot with the legs today. But of course, it is focusing on our foundations and our base chakra, which is located just in between the legs, pointing straight down at the floor. We're going to move now to relaxation. So whenever you're ready, if you feel that you need to do something else, so if you feel that you need to do another chair down dog or give yourself another shake out. Please feel free. And then gather the bits and pieces that you need for your relaxation. I'm just going to have a little sip of water. You might like something underneath the feet, maybe, or to recline on a sofa with the legs up. Oh, recline on a bed, even better. Or perhaps just sitting on your chair. Wrapping yourself up in a blanket, even if you feel quite warm, it's probably worth doing. I'm going to pop this block underneath so I can pop my feet on it, and we're ready to do relaxation. Sitting all the way back in your chair now, really thinking about supporting the back of the body. We rest our hands wherever they're comfortable. We find that sense of greater support through the chair back, the seat across the buttocks, the backs of the thighs, and where the feet are resting on the floor. Whenever you're ready, you can gently close your eyes. We're going to turn the head from side to side. It doesn't need to be full movement, just a little movement through the neck. Turning from side to side, maybe doing a few ear to shoulder on each side as well. In the center, we can, from a neutral position with the neck, make very small circles with the nose. So as if you were drawing a circle in front of you with your nose, very small circles. Smaller than you think. Whenever you're ready, going in the opposite direction, small circles, perhaps starting slightly larger, but working towards small, very almost imperceptible. And then bringing the head to rest. Taking a deep breath in, sighing out through the mouth. Taking 3 more of those deep breaths. As you sigh, releasing all the effort of your practice. Deep breath in. As you sigh, allowing the muscles to begin to relax. A deep breath in and surrendering back and down into your seat and the floor. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Allow your body to find that deeper stillness. Finding comfort and support through the back of the body. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and softening down. Feel that softness across your forehead, in the space between your eyebrows. Feel a deeper sense of release around the eyes, relaxing your mouth, tongue, and jaw. Feeling the shoulders and chest soften down. Take your awareness into your legs, your feet, and your pelvic floor. Imagine these parts of the body bathed in a warm red light. With each breath you take, that light grows just a little brighter. With each breath out, the sensation of warmth spreading into the rest of the body. As you breathe in, the red light glows a little brighter in the feet, the legs, and the pelvic floor. As you breathe out, that sensation of warmth moves into the rest of the body. That nurturing coming from your base chakra, your earth element. As the sensation of warmth spreads through the body, you feel safe, secure, stable, strong. You feel the firmness of your foundation. You feel the strength of your center. Of your feet. And with the whole of the body now bathed in this warmth that comes from your foundation, that red glowing light. Feel the body now soften with every exhalation. When you're ready, begin to draw that red light back towards your center, towards the soles of the feet and the pelvic floor. Allow the body to observe the nurturing of that light. You can draw on it whenever you need it, but for now it is contained stored safely, ready for when it is next needed. Take a few deeper breaths. Bring your awareness into your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Stretching the arms away from your center, yawning. Ooh, to stretch the face, maybe stretching the legs out. Making any movements, maybe a gentle side bend. In your own time, you might bring yourself to sitting more upright on your seat, resting your hands on the legs. So you feel the contact between the hands and the legs. We've worked today with our strong foundations, and that foundation carries us through life. We don't think a lot about our feet, except in yoga perhaps, but also it's our legs and our pelvises as well. So thinking about how strong these structures are, how good they are at their job, and how confident they can make us feel as we travel through life. We're going to take that sense of strength and confidence into our week ahead, into our interactions with other people. Perhaps we can encourage them to feel more strong and confident too. With this in mind, we are going to gently bow our heads, maybe hands together at the center of the chest, and give yourself a soft smile. When you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining in this practice. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it sets you up for a fabulous week ahead. And I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Namaste.